If you've ever been fascinated by the ingenuity of World War II civilians and home defenders, you're going to want to stick around for this. Today, on The Prepper Historian, we're diving into strategies that went beyond the obvious barricades and barbed wire. The secret, often overlooked home defense tricks that ordinary people used when the world was on the brink of collapse. I promise you, this isn't just history for history's sake. These are practical tactics that you could still apply today, whether you're preparing for civil emergencies or just want to understand the art of defensive ingenuity. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss these deep dives into survival history. During the Second World War, the home front was a battlefield in its own right. Civilians weren't just passively waiting for news. They were inventing, improvising, and sometimes outright sneaking ahead of the military manuals. One of the first lessons we can learn from that period is the importance of early warning. In London, during the Blitz, ordinary families set up improvised alarm systems that went far beyond the government-issued sirens. People used tripwires attached to bells or tin cans, hidden in gardens or hallways. The principle is simple: detect movement before the intruder gets close. Today, a modern adaptation could be as simple as stringing a taut wire in less conspicuous areas of your property, connected to an old-fashioned mechanical bell or even a small electronic alert. It's low-tech, but it works, and it keeps you aware without relying solely on modern electronics that can fail in emergencies. Another often forgotten strategy is camouflage and misdirection. During World War II, entire streets were painted with blackout paint and structures were disguised to confuse enemy aircraft. Families would even set up dummy equipment and decoys, tricking observers into thinking resources were elsewhere. This concept translates seamlessly to contemporary prepper tactics. If you have valuable supplies, think creatively about where you store them. Inside hollowed furniture, disguised containers, or even behind removable panels in your basement. The goal is to delay discovery, just like civilians did during air raids, giving you time to react. One of the most ingenious home defense methods was creating obstacles that forced intruders into predictable paths. Civilians often used improvised barricades from rubble, furniture, or even hedges to funnel enemies or create choke points. These weren't just passive defences, they were actively designed to give defenders an advantage. Today, you could apply the same principle in your yard or property by thinking about how someone could move through it. Use natural features like dense bushes, combined with strategically placed barriers to control access routes. It's not about making a fortress, it's about shaping the terrain to your advantage, something World War II home defenders mastered without modern technology. A lesser-known but highly effective tactic was creating noise and distraction. During air raids, families would bang pots and pans to mask other movements or to confuse invaders. Similarly, in rural areas, decoy fires or lights were sometimes used to draw attention away from the real home or supply caches. You can replicate this today with controlled noise or light diversions to protect key assets or to alert you to intrusions. Even simple things like a radio left on in one room while another area remains quiet can create a psychological advantage if someone is trying to move undetected. One of the most human elements of home defense during World War II was community coordination. Families rarely acted alone. Neighborhood watch networks, often informal and built on trust, ensured that everyone knew their role in an emergency. Neighbors would signal each other with flags, lights, or sound codes, methods that required minimal resources but maximized preparedness. Modern preppers can take this lesson to heart by fostering strong relationships with nearby trusted allies. Establish simple signals or routines so that in any emergency you can coordinate quietly and effectively. Historical methods don't need to be replicated exactly. It's the principle of collective vigilance that matters. Finally, resourcefulness was everywhere. People reused what they had, whether reinforcing doors with scrap wood or crafting simple weapons from everyday items. They understood that improvisation could turn ordinary household objects into defensive tools. Today, looking around your own home, there are countless ways to apply this mindset. Old metal rods can secure entry points, jars of sand can be repurposed for weight or distraction, and even common textiles can be used for concealment or padding. It's about seeing potential where others see ordinary items, a mindset that separates mere history enthusiasts from true prepper historians. Understanding these forgotten World War II home defense tricks isn't just academic. It's a chance to learn from the creativity, courage, and ingenuity of ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. You can adapt their methods, modernize them where necessary, and create a layered approach to home defense that goes far beyond simple locks or cameras. These strategies remind us that defense is as much about foresight, planning, and clever use of resources as it is about raw firepower. If you found this exploration into Beyond Barbed Wire, the forgotten World War II home defense tricks that still work today valuable, hit that like button and share it with fellow history buffs and survivalists. And don't forget to subscribe to The Prepper Historian for more deep dives into historical ingenuity and practical lessons you can still apply today. These lessons from the past are evergreen, and they belong in the toolkit of anyone serious about understanding both history and survival strategy.